Talk about Caesar just talked about the relationship. So this is something when I talk about. It was kind of a form of bullying, wasn't it? Yeah. And we know what bullying, hurting people hurt other people, right? And they hurt them because somebody hurt them. So now what do? You translate it onto somebody else. So what happened? The dad was hurting about the master taking and raping his wife, and he didn't know how to express that. So the only thing he could say is, how could you let him do that? No, and she told him, you really think I had a choice? And that's the power of a woman. She did everything that she had to do for who? For her family. So everything that she did, every move that she made, was she had to slap her son, and she said, if I have to slap you to keep you from getting killed like my older son did, or from getting you, or you getting hung like my daughter did, then I'll slap you 7 times. Right? So that's what we have to understand. What else do you think? What else do you think as far as the dynamic of the mom and the dad, and even with the master?
When they had took his Gracie or whatever.
Gracie.
Yeah. The new Hezekiah, the 2020 or whatever. He was asking him, like, why would you do that? And the dad was like, that's the safest thing for you to do. Because if he would have argued back with him, he would have still took the little girl and no telling what would have happened. Right. So I feel like he had to make some sacrifices too, but it wasn't as hard as the mother because she did so much to keep her kids sane and things like that. So.
Okay.
And then going off of what Marcus said, even further along in the play, the mom had came back after she was working in the house and even said like nothing happened to Gracie. She actually didn't get raped. Right. So I felt like if he would have said something when it happened, he would have died. Gracie probably would have got raped. She probably the whole timeline of the story would have changed, and so many different elements of it would have been different. And then adding on top of that, I just feel like he was in a place where. Going back to what you said about bullying, it's like when you can't hurt the person that's hurting you, you hurt somebody else to make yourself feel better. And I'm not saying that's right, but that's just how people interact with each other. Like, we don't have a way to interact where we can express our feelings out and other reasons. So you put your hurt or your feelings on someone else to make you feel better.
So here we go. Let's go a little deeper real quick. Let's go a little deeper. I'm about to go deep. Y'all ready? Can y'all go deep with me for 1 minute? Yeah. Okay, I'm about to go deep. Now, everybody in here knows me, right? All y'all know my kids, right? Yes. My kids are what color? Light. All my kids are light, and I'm dark. So what does that mean? My kids are what? Mixed. My kids are mixed. So let me ask this question. Who in this room is biracial? Okay? Now here we go. Watch this. So if you don't want to answer it, don't answer it. But let's talk. Let's speak our truth. Why? Because our truth might help somebody, right? So in there, remember, one of the daughters was biracial. And she talked about, I deal with this with my daughter. She talked about how she feels like the white people don't accept her because she ain't white enough. The black people don't accept her because she ain't black enough. I'll start right here with Taylor. Taylor, you're biracial, right? You're light skinned, you have long hair, right? What has that been like for you?
Since the fact that my mom is black and my dad is white, I could relate to the daughter on like a different standpoint. And just growing up, having 2 separate families, it's hard. I mean, it's gotten easier since there's so many more biracial kids nowadays. Like that's normal nowadays to have a biracial child. I mean, you just learn to grow with it. You learn to become who you are and accept that you are of 2 races. I mean, continue. No, you go. This is, you answer. Because my question was twofold. I was going to ask you, what have been some of the challenges for you? You know, because you saw what happened back in the 1800s, and this is 2020. Right. So, like the daughter said, she's never black enough for the black people. She's never white enough for the white people. And I wholeheartedly, respect that. And, I don't know, when I'm with my mom, they all look at me differently. But when I'm with my dad, they all look at me differently. It's like, who are you? Who are your parents?
Right.
And it's like, that's my mom, that's my dad.
Yeah.
And then when they're together, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's just like, like some people they're so naive to it, but some people they accept it.
Right.
Like for instance, all the Kardashian kids, they're all biracial.
Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh.
So you know, some people accept it, some people don't. But for me, like I'm used to it now.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really feel too different.
Yeah. But and I'll say this too about you. Your attitude is great. You have your personality, you're always smiling, you're always happy, you're very secure in who you are. And I think that makes you so much more acceptable to people because now they're not looking at your color or if you're biracial, they're looking at the fact that this is a nice person. So I get that. Anybody else? Anybody else? Rihanna.
I'm black and white, but I'm black and Mexican. It's been like, I'm never Mexican enough or I'm never black enough too. And sometimes I felt like when we talk in class about black history and like issues that black people have, I feel like I can't speak on behalf of that because black people have always told me like, you're not black enough to know the struggles of a black person. And I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like my mom, she lives in the suburbs. I go to visit her all the time.
Right.
I get looked at so different when I'm there. Like even if black people don't see me as black, when I go to the suburbs with majority white people
They
and
see
I like
you
walk
as
into
black.
a store or something, everybody turns and I'm like, how do they see me? Because I'm not seen like that when I'm here.
Right.
And I grew up in the suburbs, so when I first moved to Chicago, I had like that white person attitude that white people talk, and they would always be like, "You're so whitewashed," or like, "My music taste is never good enough."
Right.
Like all of that stuff.
So it's a thing, guys. Let's think about this. It's a thing. Now, these are your peers. These are people you see every day, people that you might not even know that they have these thoughts and these feelings. And I'll tell you like this, even when you're just black, both of your parents are black. If you're dark skinned, you feel like people look at you a different way. I know black people that both of their parents are black and they got light eyes. Or I know both of their parents are black and they're light skinned. Or both of their parents are light skinned and they're dark as my shirt. But the thing is, we have to stop as people, we have to stop judging people and looking at people from the exterior, and we have to look at people from the interior. And I think when we start doing that, it changes. But the narrative only changes when you change it, when you talk about it, when you express your feelings to your friends. And not only that, when you're willing to be a real friend and step up and stand in the gap for someone who's talking negative or ruthless about your friend, right? So what else can you give me about the Naya? What's something you took away from the play?
Something I took away from the play was like the love that they all have for each other. Because I feel like, especially in family and like black and brown families, like love and family is like the two most important things. So like love and family are like the most important thing. So I like, even as a kid, like that's something my mom always like pushed on me, like family before anything.
Yeah.
Like I think that was a really important thing, like for culture to bring together. Like that's one of the main things that, and like the love that the two parents shared, like they could get through anything with that. Like so yeah, I think.
Because even though they had issues, they still had love, right? And then Dolph. So one thing I loved about Rodolfo, right? He was like, Gerald was breaking my moment. He's like, I wanted to cry. And like, what was that moment? What was that moment for you, Rodolfo? Because I've been knowing you since you were a freshman, and I've watched you go from being kind of this quiet guy to kind of open and coming out of your shell, but always being a guy that was always sure of yourself and always doing your thing. And but what was it like for you in that moment when you were watching the play and it wanted to bring you to tears? What was that about?
Well, I mean, like this things you kind of learn throughout the years, but some things like learning it in books and one thing seeing it, it's more emotional and you're more into the scene. And I was like almost in tears when I was seeing the dad like kind of just like I guess giving up his life for his pride or for like a bigger meaning for his family.
Yes.
That's pretty much what got to me.
Okay, that was deep. That was deep. Anybody else? What do you think? Isabella, Gerardo, anybody? Ashley, what's your question?
Did the daughter actually end up getting? Because I want to say something, but I
Just
don't
go
want
ahead.
to
No,
say
go
it.
ahead.
Did the daughter actually end up getting raped way before he took her? Like, was he raping her way before he took her?
I don't think so.
Okay, so if that's the case, then at the same time, the white dude had respect for their family. Cause if they was just going around raping kids or whatever, and if you think
swear that he had, you know, sexual intercourse with the wife. And he was still talking to the daughter like he was about to like do something to her, but he never did anything to her just because it's his daughter and he had respect for the
Well,
he didn't really have respect for the woman, but like at the same time some small part of him still cared.
Yeah, and it's a slippery slope because you got to understand when you're born into something, and that's the thing that's instilled in you from birth, right? It takes an act of God or some cosmic force or something to happen in your life to change your thought process, right? They say train a child up in the way that you'll have them to go and they won't depart from it. That means if a baby is being trained a certain way from a baby, that means when they become a teenager, what ways are they going to have? The way that you train them. So a lot of this is learned behavior, right? It's what they will learn. So let me ask this. What do you guys think about the fact that at the end, he decided that he wasn't going to take it anymore. And if that meant him giving his life to show how much he loved his family, to prove how much he loved his family, and that he would always stand in the gap for his family. What was that like for you? What was that like for you? Start here.
That was very inspirational because it's like now, back then, if you did that, you lost your life.
Yes.
You stood up for your partner, you died. But nowadays, we look at it now and it's like, ain't no really taking a stand like that to like lose their life. Now it's like, if I lose my life, I have nothing. But they don't want to lose their life for something greater when they really could. They're just really looking at what they can do.
Right.
And it's just crazy to see like from back then, they were so like passionate trying to get out of it. They've been going through it. They had that mindset. And when they also talk about mentally enslaved.
Yes.
Even though he was in slavery, he broke mentally out of that slavery that he had. But now we look at nowadays, it's like everyone is kind of enslaved because we all thinking the same thing, trying to be the same thing, those individuals.
So yes, you can't be enslaved in your thinking, in your mind, right? So hi.
In the moment, I feel like it was like very gratifying to be able to feel like he saved his family. I feel like that was great for him. But at the end of the day, like me and Mike even talked about it, it was like at the end of the day, after he had passed away, that man probably had like, a vengeful thing for the family because that he still owned their family at the end of the day. So it's like I feel like he didn't think of that about the aftermath his family might have gone through after that.
That's deep. So what she's saying is this: although he gave his life for his family, right? The acts that he did, it still can have a negative effect on his family because now he's vengeful of what he did to him, and now he's going to take it out on the family. Once again, you damn if you do, you damn if you don't, right? It's crazy, but it's true, Mary.
I feel like the situation was messed up either way. Like if he would have killed him, then his family was gonna have to get like sold and broken apart and broken
Right.
up families. But like doing what he did, more than likely he is gonna be vengeful. But I feel like he, like now it's like this is a family that shouldn't be messed with. Oh.
There are different messages, yes.
I feel like at that moment he became, I mean he was a man, but I feel like he became more of a man.
Yeah.
Because he said when they was going to kill him, he said it took me 6 years to gain
6
courage. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And I just felt like he really needed to do that for himself and for his family. And then like what he said to the master, like he had the master think like he intimidated him. That's what he did, because he was like, if you keep raping all these women, you're still putting these niggas on earth. And that's what you hate the most. So I feel like he was intimidating him, but he did it in such a good way. Like it took the master.
Like he was schooling him.
Yeah.
Like you think you're really doing something, but all you're doing is you're putting more of us on the earth and you're building us up and making us stronger. So you might think you're doing something bad, but in reality, there's some good that's going to come out of this. Gentle.
Like in that moment, kind of like what I took away from that was that the father that was like, he was never scared of master. Like he was never scared of the white women because like one on one he would have given the whoever easy. But I feel like with slavery, it was kind of just like they had like such a tight bond. Like they were always so worried about like their own kind of. It's kind of just why that like they would never like want to take the initiative to like stand up for like themselves and their family because they knew that like doing that it might like have another traumatic experience. Like he looked like they literally watched their own father
Okay. So, go ahead.
And then also going back on what Ayla has said, now in society, we don't all have a way of like dying for greater good. Everybody has their own vengeance. Everybody wants to one up somebody else. Everybody wants to be on top. Everybody wants money. Everybody's fame hungry. It's always something that makes somebody else better than somebody else. And it's put in society in general, no, not race, not age, not gender, but society at a point where it's like, if we all just against each other, then society is just gonna end bad. Like no one's gonna win. Nobody's gonna come out on top.
There it is. So, we're in this part with this. Listening to everything that you guys are saying, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your thoughts. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate you opening up. And one thing I want to leave you with is this. When you talk about society, you talk about people. You hear me? People. We're talking about mankind. When we talk about mankind, that's man and woman, right? We're talking about people. It's not about racism. It's not about placism. It's not about classism. It's about people. And when we start to make this life and this world about people, that's when we'll start to win. Because we're not going to see what you're wearing, what color you are, where you're from. We're going to look at the person that's standing before us, or the person that's in office, that person that's teaching us, that person that's paving the way for us. Yes, we want to look at our heritage and where we're from. That's great. But at the end of the day, we're all people. I don't care what color you are. You have 2 arms and 2 legs. You have a brain. You have eyes. You are a human being. And when you take people for who they are and not where they come from or what they were born into, and you look at them for the person that they are and what they bring to society, what they bring to this world, what they bring to your life. Everybody's put in your life for a reason and for a season, whether good or bad or indifferent. But the thing is, what are you going to learn from it? What are you going to impart back into them? What's going to be your part of his story? History is his story. Somebody telling your story when you're long gone. You know, you have a begin date when you were born, and you have an end date, and then when you leave this earth, but then there's that dash in the middle. What is that dash going to be filled with? What are people going to remember about you? What are people going to say about you? What's going to be the legacy that you leave, not only for your kids or for your family members or the people that come in contact with you? What will they say about you 10 years from now when they see you on TV, when they see you in the courtroom as a lawyer, when they see you as a doctor or a hairstylist or whatever they see you as? What's going to be something that they remembered about you? Because it ain't going to be your color. It's not going to be your gender. It's going to be the person that was before them. And when we think of it that way, and that's what we take from it, that's when we change the narrative. That's when life gets better, and that's when we become better and bigger than our circumstances and our situation. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. And I'm going to tell you like this. One of the reasons when I was sitting in the front and I started to tear up, and I think Regina was behind me. You see, in Egypt, I looked back a couple of times, right? And even Elizabeth was on the side of me. I looked at them. So I'm thinking to myself, God, I hope they get the message. Because there was a message in today. And from the sound of everything, and from the look of your faces, whether you spoke or not, you got it. And when you keep it, that's what's going to change the narrative. That's what's going to make a difference. And that's why everybody in this room is going to be a leader and going to be successful. Whether it's IB, whether it's softball, baseball, basketball, whether it's robotics, whatever it is that you decide to do, you're going to excel and you're going to be successful because you dare to dream, you dare to walk in your purpose, and you dare to be your best, no matter what life handed you. And that's what makes me happy, is the fact that I get to say, I knew you when. That was my student.